and welcome to ESL One Frankfurt 2016 European Qualifiers quarterfinal. This is the third one we're actually doing, with Vega Squadron going up against Team Empire. I'm Toby1, I'm your host for the English live stream tonight for both of our European series, and luckily I'm joined by a man who will see if he's actually got the stamina to go through two, but he's only signed up for one so far tonight. He can be known as the King. It is Swindle King. Welcome, man.
Man, can I just be Kyle, man? Why do I gotta have nicknames?
You can
wrong with my
try and
name,
just
Toby?
be Kyle.
Not Swindle. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me.
I
How
don't
you
think
doing,
that would
Toby?
really suit your character though. Like, you can't just be Kyle. There's two under the radar for you.
Alright, well, I mean, I just like everybody. There's already been kings. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna have to accept the title, like make it, Emperor or something. King's kind of played out, don't you think?
Emperor Swindle? I'm fairly certain there's been a couple of emperors as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. To each their own.
Would you prefer Lord Swindle? I guess a little less pressure.
I don't know, man. I'm too distracted for this. I'm already watching the draft, but if you want, I'll send you a list through DMs later.
Fantastic. We'll decide on your title at a later date. What's already your thoughts about the draft, man? Because we're already pretty heavily in.
Well, both of these teams pretty highly prioritized Bounty Hunter. I think it's one of the strongest heroes on this patch. I'm not surprised to see Empire ban Invoker, as Vega has only played, I think like 10, 12 matches so far over the past couple of months, and they played Invoker in 10 of those games. Actually, sorry, 9 of their 12 they played Invoker, so that's a pretty obvious ban, I think, from Empire. They've also been playing a lot of Disruptor. Both teams actually seem to value that hero pretty well, and Empire's been running a ton of Puck, which I wouldn't be surprised to see with their current lineup. The bans are... What's interesting is that none of these CIS teams seem to really highly prioritize Chen, with the exception of Spirit, and at least in my team, we always felt like that hero was a little stronger than Edge, especially because CIS teams also don't seem to like running her off lane, which is really big in North America. The Void Band. Prized.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Chen much either, but most of the time whenever I see a Chen, I feel really sorry for him because he's up against Doombringers or up against Witch Doctors and the like. He just doesn't seem to have as much of an influence unless it's played by like Team Spirit Goblak. He still seems to be one of the ones that persists with picking up the Chen. I'm gonna ask a favor as well, Swindle. Every time you need to sniffle.
About mute myself?
Yeah, I don't know if you got yourself a quick mute button, but it's just to save the cringe in the chat.
I'll do my best.
Thanks a lot.
Right, and with that said, if there's any other issues with my mic, make sure somebody lets me know.
No,
because
I feel like
fine, everything's fine? Okay, because I always get complaints that I'm doing something wrong, when in reality, any audio issues are your fault and your fault alone.
You can 100% blame me. Just like at the start of the broadcast, you're a little bit quiet. I already balanced you up, so I gotta stay on top of that, bro. But everything should be okay. I think you're a little louder than me right now, but we can't have that, so I'll turn myself up a bit, and we should be good.
Beautiful.
When technology works correctly. No surprise with the gyro. Actually, it actually kind of is a bit of a surprise with the gyro ban when you've got Ramses on your own team. Like, he plays that gyrocopter more than probably any other hero.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just the perfect carry for the kid, to be honest. Just because still one of those heroes that it's like the perfect mix where you can pretty much win a game. You can acquire items and farm like a hard carry and actually just crush the game single-handedly, while at the same time you're able to fight and rotate from level 6 onwards. So it's just one of those heroes that I don't want to say it's like easy to play, but it's definitely one of the most understood ones on this patch. Now the Beastmaster pick, I like that hero a lot. Somewhat weak against Enchantress in the sense that she can take your Necrobook, but later on in the game you can just sort of send minions at her. One way you can actually really easily deal with an Enchantress, especially nowadays, is actually to just attack her mana pool, because if she can't cast Impetus, then the hero will have a lot of range but won't actually do any bonus damage. So I'm fine with that pick here. I think it's really good against Earth Spirit as well for the same reasons. And it's also one of those heroes that can really cause a lot of chaos in the off lane with the bounty hunter's threat potential, especially with the Zeus already picked up as well.
I like the way too Vega are also moving away from just having like this raw physical damage out. They got so much magical combo already that they can that Enchantress and not worry about untouchable, as opposed to just going like Ursa pickup. Now we instantly counter Enchantress. That might cause a couple of problems though.
Oracle's just really solid against Bounty Hunter in the sense that you can purge off the track very easily. However, I don't like it especially much against Beastmaster, and to an extent Zeus as well, even though obviously she can use her W to make herself immune from magic damage. It's that it's just kind of hard to see it coming. So a Zeus bolt into ulti, normally you're not going to get your W off in time. So even though Oracle's kind of thought of as a counter to Zeus, I sort of disagree with it practically here. And in addition, relatively weak in lane, especially with an Earth Spirit. So I think Vega's Bounty Beastmaster could actually do quite well in the bottom lane. And in addition, this also leaves them with an edge, which I believe might be going off lane, and Vega now picks up the CM in response. Because you see the Earth Spirit Oracle, while Earth Spirit mid's possible, I don't think that it's likely, which means that the edge is going off lane. And CM is by far just the best hero to deal with CM in the off lane. And now they have their one available as the last pick as well.
Did you even need to like dealing with Enchantress in the offlane? Are you talking like primarily because Frostbite's great up against the creeps, or do you just block that side camp so then Enchantress is a pure, well, walker? That's all. Like she doesn't do any kind of damage, just stops physical. That's all with untouchable.
It's really all of them. The main reason is that you just freeze the creep and kill the creep. So theoretically, like a Witch Doctor can sort of do the same thing, but with CM, you have a lot larger mana. Well, not mana pool, but you know, you're gonna skill aura, and you'll always have a frostbite up, and thus the double creep combo of Ench is not really a big deal, and it actually feeds you. Like a two satyrs running at a Witch Doctor, he's not gonna do anything. CM's gonna make sure one of them at least is dead, and in addition, throughout the game, like I don't know if CM. I'll take a game we played at Shanghai. I think it was we lost the game against EG, and they were running CM Earth Spirit, and their CM had like 2,000 hero damage off the #1 hero on his team. Like the hero does tons of damage, and people really don't give the hero enough credit, in my opinion, because one or two good ultimates will easily be like 3,000 to 5,000 hero damage in a fight if it's on like 2 or 3 heroes. Like I'm not exaggerating. This hero is insane. So with that said, Ench isn't really a hero that can itemize for BKB, so it's just like you frostbiter, you run into melee range and you start ulting, and Ench kind of has to just run away and beats.
Well, you might have a couple of ways to stop that with Earth Spirit in the field, but this is one of the like the lowest physical damage drafts I've seen from both sides in a while, and very low control from Team Empire as far as stuns go. Like, unless you're going to count, like, Fortune's End, but that's not one of those, like, quick instant reaction kind of things that you can have. And Earth Spirit, like, if he misses his initial kick, then you need the Enchantress Army, or you need, what, Doom's Doom?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the pick, to be honest. Like this to me, I see 4 heroes, like I see 4 fours at the moment on Team Empire. I don't really understand the direction they're trying to take this draft. And I know a lot of teams have been experimenting with Jungle Doom. I've also seen some Dooms run out of the safe lane, but in this situation, again, like I don't.
Doom.
Yeah, and not only that, but what are you picking a Doom for against Vega's heroes? None of these heroes make me think, okay, you just got to Doom this guy and you're good. Traditionally, it's heroes like Tidehunter, where they have one huge ultimate and they also want to be the mech carrier. Heroes like Ursa, even Ember Spirit, Void, you know, things that you really want to just shut down the fight. And while ideally you're going to get a Doom off on a Zeus here, I suppose, it's going to be really difficult when you're fighting through both a Bounty Hunter and Bird Vision. So, and Doom's also traditionally really weak against both Bounty and Beastmaster, just because PL as well actually is quite good. So I'm very, very okay with the PL pick. In my opinion, it's one of the best heroes against Enchantress for multiple reasons. One goes back to the mana pool issue. If you just send a few illusions on her and send her to half mana, that means her damage output's going to be effectively halved for the team fight, and in addition, Enchantress cannot deal with illusions at all. So a Diffusal pretty much allows you to kill her whenever desired, and the same with an Oracle, with Earth Spirit, even with Doom. None of these heroes effectively deal with illusions, so Empire needs something. They really need a mid hero that can do something, and they only have 20 seconds, so I wouldn't be surprised to see an Ember Spirit. Sorry.
Almost all I want to see right now is to find something which is stronger on their safe lane, because this can't be a Doom safe. Like, get a Sven, run the Oracle mid, push the Doom to the off lane. I think that's like the only real choice they have. But it's actually Ramses who's taking up the Enchantress in this game. They needed some kind of clear against the PL, but their lanes are a little bit warped, at least as far as like the players who are taking the heroes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if I like missed something because I did some research before the games and I thought I was pretty sure what roles everybody played, but I am no longer certain.
I don't know. Yeah, you are right on your roles. They're taking different heroes, unless they're gonna switch once they get inside the game, and they're literally just like mind fucking us right now.
I don't know. I mean, it could just be a core Enchantress, which I'm actually okay with because he really wouldn't be able to do anything up top, and he should lane pretty okay
But
against
this
Beastmaster
will
Bounty.
force you to run like a Sven as well as a Doom. I'm sorry, a Sven and an Oracle. Like on the top lane, and then put Afterlife in the mid as the Doom up against PL.
It's gonna be a Zeus mid. No one,
Okay.
yeah, no one's playing the Zeus. It'll be mid. It's just gonna be, I think, a standard Bounty, CMPL top, the Beastmaster off. But part of the reason I like Vega's draft so much here is bounty hunters. The bounty hunter can pretty much go into every lane and have his impact felt. Specifically, this top lane. I don't really think that anyone's going to get anything out of top, even if they send a Sven +1 there. I think they would need 3 heroes, and like I said, Earth Spirit and Oracle are not supports you want in tri lanes at all. So that could backfire on them if that's what they try and go for.
This just seems so much more complicated than it had to be. Like, just for the way they did their draft, it's like, okay, yeah, you start with an early Enchantress, I understand this, and yeah, they're switching it around. And you see them switching now. Just waiting for this to happen. So Ramses actually takes up the Sven, and YOLO Warrior will switch himself over to that Enchantress. So this is starting to look more like a real team.
Yeah, I would agree.
So Afterlife goes to the off lane. King Al will be support. YOLO Warrior support
It's gonna be an Earth
Enchantress,
Spirit
and
mid.
it's
Wow.
actually an ES mid.
Interesting.
So
I think Zeus
how's
is
this matchup meant to work though? Because they're not sending PL to the mid, they are sending Zeus to the mid. So what's the Earth Spirit even meant to do here?
actually a pretty good matchup, to be honest, especially with an Enchantress. Earth Spirit is really good against Zeus, in my opinion, because he doesn't really have any escape mechanisms, so you can roll on him, stun him, silence him. In the meantime, you're just beating into him with all of your team, which in this case is probably going to be a roaming Enchantress, and wouldn't be surprised to see Afterlife forced to rotate out of top lane as well. I think Solo is going to just prevent him from doing anything in this camp, and then just keep him completely boxed out of the lane, so that the CM can focus on either jungling or pulling, and then he'll just pretty much follow the Doom. A lot of this game's come down to this Enchantress, and whether or not they can rotate on mid enough to get this Earth Spirit a really firm foothold in the game, because they need a massive Sven and an Earth Spirit that's able to make a ton of rotations and movement around the map. So I think a lot of this game is on this Earth Spirit and just the way Team Empire rotates around their mid lane.
We'll see how it's going to go as the foghorn does sound. So first runes go as expected. It'll be a mid and a mid. Solo is already doing his creeping. He put down one sentry ward, which has blocked up this camp, and the counter ward, which was placed, will not actually do the job. They threw the sentry ward down because Afterlife actually walked up on the hillside and saw the bounty go invis, so he assumed that camp's blocked up, but this will now mean he has to commit 2 sentry wards, which he does not have, get that camp and get his first creep. And you're also then watching the positioning of Seaman, this body blocking of the camp. There's just no way that this Doombringer is going to get any early aura, so Afterlife goes all the way into the dire jungle to find one, and all he can find is Noga Frost Mage.
In the meantime, Solo actually blocked Enchantress's first hard camp in the Radiant jungle as well, so they do a very, very good job there and just prevent the creeping entirely. Although Doom does grab a Frost Ogre, which is actually one of the best creeps to have in this lane, because it just means he can't die. Like, Doom has 0 base armor, he'll have 8 when that's applied, so that's a very lucky creep for him, because he only got a medium one.
And this matchup in the mid, this way I don't fully understand exactly what Earth Spirit's meant to be doing. Like, Bounty Hunter rotates in, he says hello a couple of times, the Salve now gets burned, but Earth Spirit's got 1 shared tango and 5 1 charges. It's the only way he can stay in this mid lane. Like, Solo walks forward, like the only other way what he can find himself a kill is by kicking Solo back out of the town. But now he's actually just had his sentry ward de-warded. They're out of sentries. They can't get that top camp available for the Doombringer. And no one's not even like, it's not even this game of trades which we normally see with Zeus mids. Like Zeus actually has kill potential here.
It's one of the main strengths of Bounty Hunter. Also, I think one of Solo's best heroes. Really like what he's doing here because bottom lane, the Beastmaster did not get dewarded and blocked the hard camp. So Mag always goes this early boots build, which I kind of like, especially in a situation like this because it renders him pretty much impossible to just getting killed. And mid lane is the only one that is really competitive right now, so the bounty can just pretty much ensure that it's one for the Zeus, as you say. And you can already see him up to a really big lead, and he's going to control this top rune, which is an invis, and that's exactly what you want in preparation for that Ench's first smoke rotation, although Ench is like really just not doing anything. He's having a really hard time getting started.
Well, she came into the jungle and didn't even buy smoke. In fact, neither of the supports bought smoke at the very start. So their smoke cannon never started ticking. It looks like Earth Spirit, well, he's in a lot of trouble. Goes for the kick on no one. Bottle charges, and he actually finds the first blood. He was dropping so quickly, but Zeus just had no more abilities off cooldown. His blood goes the way of our mid-solo.
That was a really big kill. I got tweeted at him. Pashka is the real deal, so I'd love to see what he can pull out. I have only seen one player that I thought was a passable Earth Spirit mid, and that was Weeha, and they won the major, so I'd be really impressed if he can plays like that throughout this game. Real quick point, just I think one of the things we all know coming into this game is that Empire is certainly less experienced than Vega, and I think that's demonstrated quite well by just how Vega's playing. They blocked more camps, they placed really good wards that have, like, look at all the sentries, 3 sentries placed by Radiant, and none of them have achieved anything. So they are playing without a hard camp. Bounty Hunter is constantly blocking the other Radiant hard camp. The offlaners is blocked, and Empire is just kind of unprepared for this. And now we see an Enchantress smoking, but his creeps are not smoked, so I am not certain that this will work out.
Wait, what? How did this even come to be?
I don't know. I wasn't paying enough attention, I guess.
So the creeps do the rotation. No one, he has vision of the creep. He just saw the Satyr.
Yeah.
He's gonna wait till the Centaur. So now they run forward. Unfortunately, nighttime only just hit, so they have no information about this at all.
Really well played there by Earth Spirit. Oh wait, never mind. Solo got it. I thought he was able to roll for the regen, but Solo actually picked it up. So now Earth Spirit's pretty low for the rest of this little dance. And as you can see, like CM already there. She's actually up at 7 CS, so pretty much with the Doom in terms of farm thus far, because the Doom is essentially playing as a 4, because this offlane is very difficult to find any footing.
I know you have these heroes, especially like heroes like OD we've seen, where you die a couple of times and then you come back into the game, because there's just mechanics that like to do so. Does Doom Devour really give him enough of a mechanic to be ready for when Vega is like full team fight?
Yes and no. The changes to Infernal Blade actually make that hero much better. I think the main thing he needs is just levels. As soon as you hit level 11, level 2 Doom, level 4 Infernal Blade, which is the build most people are going, you're actually really strong. And normally at that time, you have at least like Racer, and his strength gains just like off the charts. Bottom lane, so
Solar.
Bounty's getting stunned, yeah.
He was just in range of the sentry ward, but now he runs out of range of it. Solo knew he was visible in that lane because he already pinged out that Radiant Observer ward, because it was placed at the same time as King Arm moved up next to that Dire Observer ward. So Solo knows that was there. Now he knows there's a sentry, but he still decides to walk back in range of that sentry and gets completely slapped down. Maybe thinking the sentry was a little bit further south than it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. I mean, he just didn't see Earth Spirit rotation coming. That one ward that they placed didn't see it until he was close enough to roll, but I agree, he definitely should have been more, like, there's no reason to dance into sentry range when you know it's there.
Well, now they're going to pay the price for it. The tier 1 tower and the bottom lane will be lost for this. It doesn't even matter if Solo's there, they fortify only to delay the inevitable. And there goes the tier 1 tower. Ramsey's off to a great start. Already managed to pick up 1,500 gold on top of the Helm of the Iron Will, sitting in his bank account.
Yeah, something that took me a while to learn is in Dota you actually want to last hit the towers, and HANA was the opposite, but it actually gives your team a couple hundred more gold when you last hit it, so very good that Ramses did it. This is a huge dive on the dude. He will go down, but oh no.
Does FN get out though? Fortune's End's gonna be thrown, he's got no doppelganger. He got the Mango available, but now, well okay, you've already got a level 6 Earth Spirit, so Magnetize is up so early on. FN will be brought down, the last hit going into that ES.
He did miss both the rock and the roll, to be fair, but I'm not going to mention that since they did score the kill. So doesn't matter how it happens, you know. As long as you
maybe that just proves the point that PL was a little too deep.
I'm a little concerned, I think, for Empire. Even though they're getting kills, they got the first objective, they're in a position, in my opinion, where they sort of need to just keep making things happen. And I just don't really see where their damage output is going to come into the late game. I feel like as long as the Sven gets slowed, which is so easy. Like Vega have so many good heroes against Sven. Zeus is actually quite good because you can cancel the blink and you just do massive damage even through his really high armor with his E up. PL kites the shit out of him. TM kites him. They'll have vision through bounty, and that's like if you look at their team, like where else is the damage going to come from? You know, they'll have a magnetize from the Earth Spirit, but I don't see this Enchantress currently sitting with boots smoking a dust, getting up to like that Dragonlance Ags timing anytime soon. And you look at CS even, I mean, it's all on Sven right now.
You just still have a nice nuke combo. Like, I'm wondering to see what we see the build from the Earth Spirit as. Like, if it's Veil of Discord, then his synergy with the Oracle actually looks really good. And they just need to doom up the PL, and you remove a large portion of what Vega's got. I know. the chance that that's pretty low.
Yeah, it's just, if you look at the way Empire wants to play this, they're going to want skirmishes, early skirmishes. And if you look at Vega, like, Vega has Bounty Hunter. So even if Empire got favorable trades, like a 3-for-2, the gold's still going to even out for Vega if the track's up. And I just don't see them being able to deal with FN's PL later on in the game, in addition to the massive magical burst damage from a CM and a Zeus. And then, like, you know, Beastmaster just pretty much is going to kite the Sven with his boars and his Necrobook. So I just see this being a really hard game. I think Empire's going to need to continue to outplay their opponents, and definitely, if you look at the vision right now, Vega has flawless wards right now, and they're just reading Earth Spirit smoothly like a book.
And they've also hit their perfect timing. You were mentioning it previously, like, it looks like Vega is just playing a more, like, focused game. They understand what their objectives are going to be. Like, you're giving the Bounty Hunter room on bottom so the Beastmaster can safely farm up to his level 6. The second he gets level 6, now they smoke gank up to the bottom lane, so Empire don't really, like, have the space to free farm up Ramses. And Ramses has been feeling pretty by himself for a long time. And his Observer Ward was up on the lane, so he never even saw this coming. No one's got the nukes available, and they've almost got the bounty up at level 6. Even Crystal Maiden coming over to lend a hand. It just feels like Vega's movement across the map has so much more purpose than Team Empire's.
It's just because if you like, I just feel like their heroes make so much more sense. You look at Vega's lineup and you see the synergy, like almost all of the heroes benefit from CM's aura, which he put in an early second point into. They have a mix of damage, they have a massive vision advantage, they have globals, and then Empire is just running 4/4s in the Sven. And it doesn't, you just don't see the why behind the lineup, the purpose as you.
Yeah, like if it was this all-out style of push Dota, like with the Enchantress taking out early tier 1 towers, and I can understand it, but right now, like the tower trade-off is fairly even, and because also Oracle just used his false promise to save himself from a Zeus gank, Empire know they cannot defend that tier 1 tower on bottom lane, they have to let it go. And that leaves the only other question. Does Vega now try and stop Empire from taking their top tier 1? They've already burnt their fortification. Creep wave's dying off, but Empire really want them to come up here and gank.
Dire's top tower.
I suppose that's why Solo's on the fact-finding mission.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And they let their tier 1 tower go. But how's no one looking? He's getting closer towards that ether lens on himself. Talked about kiting, having that extra range is definitely going to be useful. And it's a Necrobook build coming over on Mag. So again, no surprise, just as you predicted.
Again, there's just nothing on Empire that's going to deal with these illusions and the minions, with the exception of Sven. And while in a perfect world, he'd be Like, this is just not farmed enough for Sven. I've seen them hit
just
like 110 at this point.
they'll find Solo. He'll get one track off and maybe one attack with the rest of his double damage under Afterlife. But he walked into a 3-man smoke gank. It was the bounty hunter to die. You'd almost be like satisfied with that. You don't lose any of your cores. It's amazing to think that Seema actually has not been in any kind of position where I think he's been close to dying.
He's playing quite well, I would say. I mean, even though he hasn't had too much of an impact, like, he's giving 1.5 mana per second to his entire team, which, especially for a bounty and a Zeus, is so nice. It's part of the reason no one can go for this really early Aether lens, because he just doesn't need the bonus mana regen of maybe like a Yols early or something like that.
Solid's getting all these tracks up in mid. Team Empire did not want to fight into that.
FN's going for what I would classify like as the Empire PL build, where he's going to go Treads, Morbid Mask into a Diffusal, and then I wouldn't be surprised if he splits the Aquila for a Vlad's. I don't know why, but the carries on Team Empire when they play PL, they always do this. I think Pasha did as well when he played Vega, but that was a long time ago. But this is kind of all they need. Like, if a PL is nearly 30 CS ahead of a Sven at this point, you know you're in trouble, because even though Sven is quite good against him, he needs to be ahead. If he doesn't have tons of damage plus the BKB, like, he'll just get some illusions on him, and then he'll be and that'll be the end of that fight. So, top, they're going for the Earth Spirit. He might get out, but
he's got a TP.
Yeah.
The Hawk is still seeing him, and Seema's just going to get the Frostbite. Wait, that Hawk not go up
the
far
Hawk didn't
enough?
see him. Didn't.
I know it was keeling over, but it still could have just flown up a little bit further to give Seema that vision required.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So they fail the gank on the Earth Spirit.
They would have liked that kill, but I just don't think it's necessary. So you look at the gold, XP, they're up 2,000 XP, gold, they're nearly up 1,000, it was 1,000 a little bit ago, but a stagnant game like this is very good for Vega. They're fine with the way this game's playing out, and I really think Empire they need to make something happen pretty soon, or I think they might fall off.
How weird is it for a Doombringer to actually be walking around with mana regen aura? Because
it's actually a great creep.
Heal plus mana. Seems like a pretty cool combo for immortality.
Yeah,
well, they find the Oracle.
He's
actually gonna have to. Does he have to ulti? And the God's Wrath's gonna be triggered, and he'll actually go down. Bounty will be picking up that kill. So more track gold coming the way of Vega.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So the Enchantress is sitting at 1,800 gold, so I wouldn't be surprised to see her go for a Midas, but again, I just feel like Vega's in a very, very solid position. Everyone on their team is in a good place, and I just don't see any way to deal with this Zeus and PL, and it looks like Zeus is actually going to go for an early Veil, so just increasing their amount of damage output and their team fight potential. So Empire is going to want to be fighting like we talked about, but they're going to be doing it into a lot of build-up items and a bounty hunter. So they need to get really good fights or they're going to be in trouble. Sven takes his ancient stack, which helps him out a lot, but he's still not ahead of the PL. And for this hero to really counter PL, I think he has to be at least like 2-3k net worth ahead in the next 4 to 5 minutes.
And it's pretty difficult to do because the rest of his team also require a large amount of farm. The Doombringer needs to get the money to pick up the mech. Like, you get Dragonlance built over on the Enchantress, so she bypassed going for the Hand of Midas. Just going to go in for that raw damage output if possible. Your support's going to start to fall behind as well. Like, you got 1,500 gold advantage going the way of Vega. And this is when, like, track is coming up. Like, how is this event even meant to stay ahead of the PL and net worth once you start having big team fights with track involved?
Yeah. The Doom's actually probably going to go for a Drums. The casual buckler is actually just something that Dooms have been doing nowadays. It's +7 armor once it's active, and the cooldown's lower than the duration. So it's just +7 armor and 2 to stats for really, really cheap. And as we talked about, like, Doom's base armor is so low, it's just like really nice to have, so that you don't immediately feed to physical damage. And do you
still want to finish the mech later on?
Usually no. If he had brown boots, possibly, and he would go for like a Greaves build, which isn't bad here, but with Tranquils, I really don't expect to see a mech. You just don't have the mana pool for that, even with your handy mana aura from a Greaves.
Well, Yellow Warrior, he kind of should have known that was happening. The Observable was being de-watered by Vega. And the last movement they did that Ward would have seen was a quick movement to the left. So that's a free pick off over an Enchantress. No one will come to defend the top lane and also get that last little bit of gold to get up to his Veil. How many sentries do you want to put down, Vega? Initiation's coming in, Seema. Oh, there's your Magnetize going off. FN in a world of hurt. And he will actually drop. That's a big kill. The Oracle will be the one to take it with his nukes. At least they get some kind of revenge for the death of their Enchantress. And this will allow this Ven to get ahead at least by 500.
That gives him a good start, but I mean, we just kind of saw the burst potential of Vega, and that kill's worth, again, a lot. That was, I think, a 4 or 5 man track kill. The PL does go down, which was super necessary, I think, but they need to take out this Zeus as well. Even this Beastmaster is going to be a problem pretty soon. A Necro 3 is just going to shred whatever hero he goes on. If you look at the mana pools of the entire Vega lineup, or sorry, Empire lineup, very few of them can support just having 300 to 500 mana burned immediately by the Necro unit. So whoever he roars and sends those on is going to be worthless, no matter if they die or not.
Well, the other revenge is maybe you just jump and try and kill him off first. Ramses has level 2 God Strength. That smoke comes in close. YOLO Warrior's the first one there. And that's his second. He tried to channel up the sprites. That actually looks so hilarious to see how fast he gets interrupted and nuked.
Yeah, Veil and Aetherland Zeus is, I mean, a lot of other items is you don't usually see these early on Zeus, but if you think about it, the only 2 items in the game that increase magical damage no one already possesses, plus he's level 11, so he's pretty much peak as far as raw damage output, and no hero in Empire comes even close to him right now. So
Empire's coming out
they
to
can just
fight.
do that.
This is a 4-man smoke move while the Enchantress will now TPSL forward. Who's going to reveal is Solo, who actually breaks it. He's close enough, they didn't get detection, they go for a sidekick. The Sentry Ward, he actually got hit by that just on the edge of the vision range. So Solo will pop to the Oracle. But that's still a 4-man smoke move while Vega had already pretty much pulled out of the fight.
Yep, they'll take that trade. I actually think Vega could take that fight, but I think that they recognize they're ahead and that they actually don't need to do anything just yet. The PL is actually going to choose to go for a Manta, which I like here. It's kind of greedy, but it certainly accelerates your farm a lot faster than a draw diffusal would. So in that sense, I think it's perfectly fine here because I don't see them looking to try and actually win this game for at least another 10-15 minutes.
Empire trying to force the issue with the jump forward from Ramses. Triggers that God Strength. His creep's going to make him walk around the target, however. Now the Roar, it's not enough to get the Zeus down to safety. And with the Doom over on Seema, you're taking out that Nova as well. No way to drop the freezing field. And they take the tower.
Yep. He was just really out of position. Daytime, he didn't recognize that he was actually seen on the Radiant Ward, and just kind of, I mean, Earth Spirit's initiation range is quite large, if you haven't noticed yet. So if you are seen and you don't move for a little bit, he will most likely find a way to set up a kill on you. They might find this PL. Nope.
So, interesting question. Is Silver Edge worth it in this game for an Earth Spirit, or is Shadowblade just his set up for a kicker?
I have no idea. I expected him to go for a Veil. I mean, it might be a Glimmer Cape, but I mean, this is CIS, so I have a feeling you're probably right, and that's a Shadowblade. What I think about it, I have no idea.
If it was a support Earth Spirit, I would be for the Veil. Like, up against the magical damage, it would make a lot of sense, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it could just be that he wants to... I mean, and it makes sense because you kind of need to get initiation on these heroes. It's very important if you're going to go on pretty much anything of Vega that they don't have time to get anything off. That's the Necrobook and the Roar, the PL Doppel, or the Zeus just ulti. Like, if he can set up and kill someone before they cast anything, it'll be really important. So, with that said, initiation is going to be very crucial. It's just, like, that item is solely for that purpose, and if they don't get the initiation, they're gonna have a really hard time.
Well, they are having multiple ways to get that initiation. The Doombringer is getting closer to his Blink Dagger. The Sven's actually just completed up his SMY as well. On top of that Blink, he is now a 4,000 gold ahead of the PL. So getting closer and closer to that position that you said he should be in. While Vega are hovering around Roshan, they don't really have the best lineup for this at the moment. And in fact, Empire are smoking up to rotate over. And the Observer Ward again was watching a lot of the Vega movement around the front of the pit.
Vega making the right call. PL's just gonna push out bottom with his illusions, and they're all just gonna back away, make sure they stay secure. They kind of read this smoke gang coming.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The timing, I think, where Empire kind of needs to make something it's gonna be with a BKB plus 1 item on Sven, and I think it'll probably be a Daedalus here. But until he has those items, I don't think that their damage output will be even close to high enough to win engagement right now against Vega's lineup.
Well, Vega are trying to force an engagement. As the PL's going to create a couple of illusions, they'll get rid of the one Enchantress creep that was in there, and they're going to start up Roshan. But Empire, they just TP 2 heroes to the top lane, so the Earth Spirit's a fair way away from this. The rest of the team, in fact, it was the Doombringer who was already up there, has already started walking himself over to the pit. So they've got 4 heroes there. The first track goes on the Enchantress. Dire Vision at the moment is actually pretty damn good. Thanks to their Observer Ward, they've still got on the hillside. And you see Empire trying to remove that, but they can't do it. Yola Warrior dropping very, very low already. They have to use that ultimate. And Roshan almost down. The war is there. Ramses jumps in. Roshan, he's just on the sideline. 680 life. Will they finish the job? FN trying to do it. Yola Warrior back into it. And PL will get the Aegis to the Immortal. Team Empire, this was not the fight they really wanted to have. They'll probably end up losing everything. The Zeus is the only thing they claimed in return. As Seema will put an end to that Oracle. Okay, Earth Spirit will be able to walk himself away from this. But Vega take Roshan. They hold the Aegis over on FN. And they take out 4 heroes of Team Empire.
I mean, Sven had his ult up, got roared, and then just kind of died. And that's what happens when you draft this lineup. Like, the Oracle ulti was already used on the Enchantress, and then Sven's just kind of on his own, and they have way too much lockdown. That CM ulti, again, just did so much damage as well. Pretty much just... You just can't fight this team in a pit unless
they're starting on FN. They're gonna Doom on FN. He's got the Aegis to the Immortal. Like, Vega's not in a great position to fight, primarily because they don't have Necro books, but that's up in 3 seconds time. You got Roar in 14. Now we'll see if PL is capable of escaping. They try and get the kickstart, they will be able to do so, and FN will be dealt with. 1 minute on the sideline, and the rest of Vega will TP out.
Blake on Doom now as well. Shadowblade on the Earth Spirit. That will be the reveal, though. I think that's how they actually got that initiation, because they did not have vision through the bird, because the Earth Spirit was invis, but...
It's funny, because he had the Shadowblade in the last fight. He walked in with the Shadowblade. Yeah, it must just be Vega didn't notice it, because it wasn't really one of those, oh wow, this is a really critical item for an Earth Spirit. Yeah, he actually had it in the last fight.
Yeah, Vega has always been one of those teams that's like on the cusp of being really, really good. They've actually like won events, but they just kind of, I think it's moves like, mistakes like they just made are things that you really won't see teams of the caliber of say EG and Secret do, where they win a big fight, they get Roche, and then they're just kind of pushing bottom, but half-heartedly, and then oh shit, PL's dead, like we're just leaving him, and there's just no real need for that, and they could have very easily just pressured a bit and backed off, and Earth Spirit also might find this Beastmaster.
Yep, that he has. Shadowblade lets him just walking close with a Stormbolt. That's a God Strength committal as well to ensure the death of Mag. 505 gold going the way of the Earth Spirit.
They'll be able to push top off that as well. It's always good if you can push an objective immediately, so that you don't waste the God Strength.
Got to fortify Vega. Fortifying for the tier 2 tower. They're not really ready to fight. No one... He actually just delivered himself a Blink Dagger. He was waiting in the tree line. It was Vega who were the ones who were trying to set the trap there. They both just wanted to blink out and kill off whoever came to the top lane. Instead, they end up losing their Beastmaster and losing their top tier 2.
What's interesting is that he actually chose to go for the Blink before finishing Necro 3. He actually has Necro 2, so that was definitely a just of the moment decision, because if you're gonna see that, usually they'll just keep it level 1, because the big jump is your level 3 necro is just amazing. So normally if you're going for 2, you might as well go for 3. I also kind of prefer having bots over blink because it gives you more potential for like surprises, but and then just like global map control, especially because the PL doesn't have them. But I mean, if you saw, like, it's just gonna come down to initiation. So both teams there were kind of setting a trap, but the invis paid off before the blink daggers did. So I feel like that'll just kind of be the tail of this next 5-10 minute segment in this game. But I'm still, I mean, this game is much closer than I expected it to be, but it's still pretty much all on this Sven, and whether or not he gets auto attack. He's got the BKB, so it's just a question of does he kill like 2 heroes in a stun or not, and that'll pretty much determine the team factor.
So we'll keep our eyes on Ramses then. This game really shouldn't be this close. Like it still feels really, really odd, and I'm wondering how you actually scale the Earth Spirit too. You got another 2k gold over on this Earth Spirit. He's done a pretty damn good job with the Shadow Blade, almost doing like I have your words ringing in my head from Dota Pit, where he's like, you know what, Shadow Blade's just so great. You're always in position. You always have more options to kind of style, and this Earth Spirit's had a hell of a lot of options. But where does he go from here? Like, can you even build a physically damaging Earth Spirit? Can you find a way? Like, is that even meant to be his job? Like, do you actually get like something like a Scythe of Ice and just become a Ramses enabler?
I actually have no idea. I still think he'll probably end up going for a Veil. Bottle's an Arcane rune, which is one of the most annoying runes for an Earth Spirit to have. Like, suddenly all of his cooldowns go to nothing. But I'm really not sure. I feel like a lightning on any of these heroes wouldn't be completely off base, just because they still really only have a Sven to deal with illusions. PL also finishing his Diffusal.
It looks like he's
so
going
his
BKB.
illusions-
Judging by the Ogre Club sitting in his stash, unless he's going to complete up a Silver Edge.
That's pretty solid here, though, to be honest. I mean, it completely nullifies the Bounty, CM, and Zeus effect, and PL is not nearly as scary if you're not getting mana burned. That's a large portion of the actual damage output of the PL, so that allows him to just pretty much get into the fight, wreak some havoc, and hopefully get huge magnetized. But I'm totally cool with that, actually. But it again kind of just puts Empire on a bit of a clock. I see them, Earth Spirit BKB, then picking up either his Daedalus or maybe an MKB, and then they need to take a fight and potentially win the game. Because I just don't see them getting stronger, not necessarily themselves, but in relation to the enemy team. That to me is their timing where they can actually defeat Vega in an engagement.
So they have to look to go up then. I guess the only way. Like, they have to go up into Vega's base and take out Arax. They're not really ready to do so. Maybe with this Doom Vlads, they feel more confident as they group up for a 3-man smoke. There was no dire vision around that point, so Vega are unaware of this. They may actually scout out. Actually, look how blind they are on the map. I never realized just how, like, the early warning from Vega was wonderful, but right now the only vision they've got outside their base comes from a Hawk and creep waves.
But that Hawk, if you see it, it's right by the Radiant Secret Shop. It actually scouted the Earth Spirit running up Invis, which gave Vega the information to know they had to back out, TP, and just get out safely. So that little vision they had actually just allowed them to read the Bokank perfectly, which, again, is like one of those reasons Beastmaster is such a high priority hero, because, as you said, they have no map control, they have no vision, but because they have a Beastmaster, they're still able to gain information in the crucial timings and locations necessary.
With this, Team Empire, so obviously that fight won't work. How do they now go, approach the next point? What do we got coming out? We got a Chrysalis for Ramses. His damage is starting to increase more and more. But he's not finding any opportunities to actually fight. But he's still, like maybe this isn't even a bad thing. Because when they do fight, you said it's like one moment where he gets like a Stormbolt on 2 people and cleaves them into oblivion. He's getting close enough to having that Daedalus and the capability to do so. There's also Vega have really tanky heroes in their lineup. This PL is still only 1400 worth of life.
Yep. He also went for a blink, so they're really just going to be playing this like rat style. And I think Vega, they just need to kind of play this smart, bait out Sven, because CM is actually just an incredible hero against Sven. in a lot of ways, but at these high BKB timings, it's really hard for him to get a foothold. But if this BKB gets down to like 5 seconds, Sven will suddenly just never ever be able to latch onto a target. And that's kind of what Vega's gotta get to. They want to just bait out cooldowns, get skirmishes where they don't have heavy losses, and just ensure they don't actually take a big team fight near their base, because that's exactly what you're looking for if you're Empire. So they're
Well,
gonna start
Empire might
pressuring here
force
a
it.
little bit.
That dire observer ward is actually with the Hawk. They pretty much see all of Empire. Vega are looking for just one quick pickoff while the tracks prepare themselves as well. They'll be taken off pretty quickly by King R, however. And Empire backing out. They don't feel like they got the advantage, and they're right to do so. They don't actually have the vision advantage over Vega.
It's so hard to push into Zeus, CM, Trax, Birds, PL Illusion spam. I think their best bet is probably to make a play around Roshan, but I mean, they've played a pretty solid game. They're better off than I thought they would be. It's just, how do you really catch any of these Vega heroes, you know? 2 Blinks, a Doppel, Invis. The only one who's really squishy is CM, and she's never going to be that really... And she actually went for an Aether Lens, which I kind of like here, because she can't really get close to any of these Empire heroes or she'll be in a lot of trouble. So I think that's a good move by Seema.
So the BKB is done over on the Earth Spirit. He's also walking around with the gem. So the Bounty might have a harder time as, well, Solo clearly escapes himself from the Doombringer, who just looks like he wanted to just blink into Doom and see if he can solo kill off Solo. It would have been a potential option. But he had no other assistant. Like, there was no one else around him.
Yeah, I mean, I think this plays into kind of both teams, to be honest. Both probably feel like they're okay with this. I think that Ramses in Empire content to just kind of let him continue outricing, finish the Daedalus, and then maybe look to make a move. But I still feel like Vega, they're the ones who have something to lose here. I think that the game is... I don't know, Empire kind of have to go out and win right now. Vega just have to try to not lose. And it's always just easier to play a game when you don't really have any impetus to actually do something.
No one's
they
gonna
might try
scout
to
out.
defend this Roche though.
He got a Veil of Discord over on the 3 claws who are finishing up Roshan with God Strength. He's low, and now Thunder God's Right's going to go. Afterlife gets a Doom over on no one. The crystals actually drop, so Oracle could pick that up, giving Sven immortality for this fight. As Earth Spirit rolls himself forward, turns on the Magnetize and the BKB. With the Doom on Zeus, there's still no way they can repair any kind of this damage being done to them. And Seema, damn, that Crystal Bacon is so tanky. But the jump in, Solo caught out the roll from Mag will buy a little bit of space. They'll free him up with that false promise. So it's a 2-for-1 trade-off. But it looks like this PL, yep, now he's finally going to actually play around here. Doppelgangering himself out, then going straight back in. Will burn the Aegis with the Immortal. Remember that Earth Spirit, he was the man carrying the gem, lost it. It's a triple kill for FN. That's probably going to become a rampage at the moment as Ramsey's trying to clean up these illusions. He's not finding the real FN just yet, hoping for some crit FN. All he's got to do is just back up, let the BKB wear off for the moment, and then lands Doppelganger around and just juke it out. The Zeus will find the kill, Empire will go down, and this just, it seems to highlight exactly what you were saying, Swindles. They just played the elusive team fight game, and it worked perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, PL just ignored everything that was happening to his own team. He killed the Oracle, then he killed the Enchantress, then they finished off the Earth Spirit, and then he just kind of kites down the Sven. And that's really your issue, and one of the reasons I'm not actually a huge fan of Sven as like your go-to counter to PL, because he needs to be targeting him. Whereas other heroes like, say, an Ember Spirit, Zeus, even Timbersaw, they don't need to expend like... It can kind of just be like a casual, oh shit, there's a bunch of illusions here, let me just throw out a slight, you know, and then they're all dead. But with Sven, if he's not stunning and then sitting there to auto-attack the PL illusions, like, there's nothing to deal with them. Like, the Enchantress just died immediately, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. Enchantress actually running around with brown boots, he's going to be going for a BKB, but, I mean, if Empire doesn't kill 2 or 3 heroes right off the bat, while their BKBs are up, they're just going to lose the team fight 100%, and I just don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, they got a Doom off on the Zeus, but he just kind of ran away, survived, and then just did a ton of damage once again.
Even if you do actually find that pick off, because Vega's still having like bounty hunter fights, they got a lot of money up their sleeves. You just buy back, like Solo bought back in that last fight. Just kick back in, make sure his regen's there, he's got the extra track as well, so Vega is still earning money when the bounty buys back. everyone else has like really decent amounts of money. Like even this Crystal Maiden's walking around with almost 1k life. Yes, it's a brace of Tranquil Boots and an Ether Lens, but when Empire is trying to put all their damage into the back of the PL, it means Seema's free to do whatever the hell he wants. And if the 4-staff can also be completed on solo, this kite game's going to get even harder. You got a 4-staff over on the Zeus. The Beastmaster, is it now? Yeah, his BTs are on the way, so you're going to have that blink daggering, global maneuvering on the back of Hawks with Necrobook jump and initiation Beastmaster play. Listen to Vega's just got so many different ways that they can just outplay Empire just through their draft, not just from their like abilities as players.
A lot of what wins games for you in this meta right now is just mobility, both around the map and in team fights. And I mean, you just look at Vega's lineup; they're gonna have more vision. They've had a gem now for about 5 minutes, so Empire's gonna have a really tough time just getting wards up. Scotty finished on the PL, so now his illusions are even tankier. So without a crit, Sven won't one-shot, probably won't even two-shot those illusions. So they're gonna burn his mana, kite him, slow him down through BKB, and Vega just kind of have to just continue farming, and in team fights just make sure they don't get like 3-man stunned and cleave to death. And as there's no Darkseer, they're not really, they kind of just have to make sure they don't stand on top of each other in the line.
Dire's middle tower.
As you said, it's Vega's game to lose and Empire's game to try and force the win. But they're running out of time. Like, they're running out of so much time. One more fight like that, and you're probably going to have most of Vega still up and looking to take out tier 2, tier 3 towers. When you actually start going up into the Empire base. And what can this Ven even do? Like, you're sitting on 2.6k gold. Like, you can complete up a Satanic, but it's almost like survivability isn't really his problem. It's like that raw damage output. But he's got no other item slots. Like, the only other thing he might be able to do is like buy a moon shard or something like that.
Yeah, I think that might actually be a better bet in truth, because he just their damage output's just far too low. He needs to just kind of bank on the fact that he'll get a lucky stun, he'll get a couple lucky crits, and he just needs to be able to do as much damage as possible in the duration of his BK window, because as we've talked about, like a long fight's just not gonna work out, and the Enchantress, like, I don't know what is he doing there, man.
He was hovering,
very out of position.
He was hovering around this Ven, but this Ven just keeps blinking, going from camp to lane to camp to camp to lane, and she just got left behind. No maneuverability. She bought the BKB before death, however, but that also means there's no buyback on this Enchantress. That movement over Seema. Ramses, oh, he jumps forward. He goes to Mag. There's your 4-staff up. Mag will go down. The Geometry Sight's over on the deck. As these BKB heroes try and have a battle, they go after FN, turning on the Magnetize, and this PL will drop. That is exactly what Empire required.
Yep. There you go. 2 kills in the duration of their BKBs, so they win the fight. If those BKBs go down and they don't score those kills, it'd be a totally different situation. But, I mean, Empire just kind of get caught sleeping, Enchantress out of position, Oracle in the base, and Ramses and his 2 core cohorts just kind of, screw it, we're going to go in. And Beastmaster ties in 2 hits, and somehow he got the Doom off the right PL, which is really easier said than done. I'm not sure how he managed to do that, actually.
I didn't know either. But did he jump in with some kind of... I mean, he's got the Pack Wolf aura. I think maybe if he had himself like a War Stomp, that would have been one way to start it off. Either way.
You just went a little robot for me. I don't know if we can like restart the call or something, but it's tough to kind of understand you.
It'll repair after a couple of seconds.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
You're still audible, so... yeah, unfortunately they're not gonna get the Roche spawn, but... I mean, wow,
Yellow Warrior.
Look at it. Yeah.
For all those people out there who have definitely played a couple of pubs and they've just sat there trying to attack an Enchantress and you cannot because of Untouchable, I'm sure that just brought a smile to your face watching Zeus just do that.
And yeah, I mean, there's no real words for that. I mean, Zeus just... This hero does so much more hero damage than any other hero in the game of Dota 2. So, especially when you go the item build that he's chosen, your burst potential is just nuts. And
now
yeah, it just kind of dies.
He's gonna get
and that same thing can happen to Oracle too.
Like these cooldowns are gonna be drops even lower. Not to mention his survivability and teamfight's going to get even better as long as he doesn't get doomed.
And this is where you hit a problem now for Empire, though, where the Sven is now huge, right? Like, he is super farmed, but he can't buy any more items. He can buy a Moon Shard, he can replace the S and Y at a certain point, and after that he is maxed out. Whereas
The
PL
only thing he can
still
replace
has,
the
like,
S and Y with is something like a Rapier at this point to make any kind of real difference.
he
Unless
doesn't have
the
to worry
PL
about a
goes
Sprout,
like,
so.
like Butterfly and then he's going to get Monkey King buff.
I still kind of having a hard time making out what you're saying, but I'm gonna just pretend like I understand you. And you made an excellent point, Toby. I
Thanks,
agree.
Swindle. Thanks, man. I'm glad. Yeah, I said something really intelligent. At work? No, it doesn't. Okay, let's restart.
Also, I didn't realize this, but they
Not a
actually got
great
the
thing
gem
when you kind of
from
actually
he had to buy
understand.
another one. So now both teams are really playing without vision, and this is where Empire, you know, this is where they're feeling confident.
I don't
want
think
Sven to
Swindle's
just go
realized I
buy a
dropped the call
Moonshard,
on
man.
him.
Just go hard. I think he will because it's Ramses. Yep. Called it. That's actually the right move, I think. Buyback by him, they pretty much already lost the game. If he's dead in a fight, by the time he shows
Hopefully
back
that
up,
doesn't
his whole
last
team
for too
will
long.
be dead too. So I like that choice, and now they're at
Alright,
this
so
point where Empire
Team
wants to fight.
Empire now.
Spends 8k ahead of the game. Gold and XP are relatively
Couple of
even
nice
still.
things going for him.
and,
Come on, Schwindels.
Like, it's pretty much now or
Dwindles.
never, I think, for Empire. They're gonna get this tower, try and get Roche, and then they just need to try and take a fight that wins the game.
Is he actually one of those guys that turns his notifications off? There we go. Hi. Hi.
Yeah,
Did
wow,
you-
I was
did-
talking to myself for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I thought you might have been doing something like that.
Yeah.
Does it sound okay for you now?
Is under attack.
I was just saying, like, this is the point. Empire, I actually called that he was gonna buy a Moon Shard. No one's there to hear it, damn it. But pretty much, he's capped out. Buybacks are worthless for the Sven because if he dies, his whole team will be dead before he shows up again. And this is their moment. Like, he's not gonna get any stronger unless he sells that S and Y. So this is their go time. They need to make a play for a tower and prevent this Roche. But they're just showing so many heroes in this top lane on this bird. They know that this Roche is secure, so they're just gonna all in it. And I think this is a big miscue by Empire.
They're gonna pay for it. They're gonna have a 2 PL in the next fight. There is cheese also available, which will be picked up by question mark. Absolutely solo. Okay, he's gonna and 4-star out. So that catapult was actually gonna try and get the denial for 1 point. Team Empire. So what do you do now? Like they've actually just ground to a halt. They've stopped moving on their side of the map. Okay, they're gonna smoke and go for some kind of pick-off play. The only person who is out of position right now is Solo. Looks like he he dropped the cheese and gave it over to Mag.
They're also doing this after the Roche is already laid out. CM's gonna break the smokes and
yeah, she's not away though. There's too many nukes. They're gonna push it back over as well.
The mid lane's pushed in. This is actually really good timing for them. I think they need to try and push high ground even against an Aegis.
But look at the top lane. FN's already taking the tier 2 tower. Like, who's gonna push high ground faster? And this one TP back was cancelled. That was the Enchantress who was TPing, so she'll have to walk away back. Which just gives FN a license to banter and push the top lane with illusions. Even Solo's added momentum to that bottom lane.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
In the bottom tier 3 tower as well. Yeah, it took a little bit of damage. I think it was like 10-20 minutes ago. That softened up enough though. But FN's getting bigger and bigger. Oh, that's a little too easy.
They didn't even
when you
need
got
the
when you
Necrobook.
got BTs on a PL as well as a Beastmaster, both who also have Blink, it is so easy to initiate.
And the thing is, they can do that to any hero, with the exception of Ramses. And that's just the problem Empire's going to find themselves in, where these 3 heroes, the PL, the Zeus, and the Beastmaster, still have a lot of scaling left to do. And at this point, Ramses is still taking farm, but, I mean, he's got a buyback now, but his hero will not get any more powerful. And it's really concerning for Empire. I think they need to try and accomplish a goal. They might want to wait out this Aegis, but right after that fades, they've got to go, because PL's next item's a Butterfly, and once he gets that, like, you're just not killing these illusions at all, and he can just, like, almost 1v5 the enemy team.
That's not what you can do though. Like, you can't even smoke out. They don't have another smoke for 6 minutes. Without that, Okay. Ramsey's feeling confident to be on the front lines. There's still no Earth Spirit available, and King Art's going to have to start healing up his Ven. Now Vega, they come up high ground. And FN's the one on the front lines. He really wants to try and soak up as many abilities as possible out of Team Empire, but what's really been soaked up at the moment, God Strength is your primary ability, which is down. So FM will just come back in again. More Lancers, more Mana Burn, stopping Enchantress's damage as well. Afterlife begging for an opening, but every time they go for it, there's a Force Staff, or there's a Blink Dagger, or there's Heavy Nuke to dissuade Empire from chasing out any further.
I mean, they blew God Strength. They'll wait for that to fade, and they will back actually. But I don't know. I don't see how you kill anything here. Zeus has an Octarine core. He's really tanky. There's the Butterfly as expected. So as soon as the Aegis fades, he'll have 30% evasion and a ton more stats on those illusions. And I just feel like Empire or Vega's gonna get to the point where they'll just literally run at Empire, and they just kind of win because their heroes are gonna do more damage and be a lot harder to lock down. And here's really aggressive smoke.
Yep, Mag, Blink, Raw, he focuses on the Enchantress. They want her out this fight straight away. And the Earth Spirit Seema actually got the Frostbite off. The Earth Spirit's boulder away to help him. He had to burn both his BKB and his Shadow Blade to get back into the base. Now Solar gets the track off. He had to force off himself away as he gets folded, but FM, yep, this is the run at you kind of style. We'll see how many buybacks will get expended right now, because there's only one left. It's over on the Doombringer. He BKBs, he tries to get the Doom off, but his only target is actually Solo, and that target has gone invisible on him. The BKB's gone for the Ven. And Vega are just sieging up Empire while picking off the pieces.
Now watch what happens when Sven tries to blink in the next time with no BKB and no God Strength. I'm calling that CM and Zeus just kind of make him irrelevant. And this is exactly, I mean, we saw this coming. This is inevitable. Empire, they sort of just had to kind of go for it. And even if it's a bad move to just maybe try and high ground with that first Aegis, like they kind of had to do something.
Well, Afterlife there to jump him. They go for the Doom. It's over on the PL. He does still have cheese available. As we'll get ourselves a pause.
Oh,
PL
no.
DC'd from the game.
That's unfortunate.
What's the timing?
It's like, I just don't even think they're going to kill him. No BKB on Earth Spirit. Sven has no blink, no stun, no ulti up right now. I don't know. It's going to be a really scary situation for them.
Yeah.
And CM still has his ulti ready to go, which is just going to slaughter everybody.
CM's got that ulti, and in 8 seconds time, Thunder God's Wrath comes back off cooldown as well.
Yep.
Yeah, this is going to hurt.
Yeah.
Put it very nicely. Like the Doombringer, like for all the King of Fire that he is, right now he's being controlled by a Crystal Maiden. And Bambi, this is not the happy end of your story. You do not find your loved one after you go down the waterfall.
And this is why Zeus CM just so good against Sven. He's actually the only target on Radiant that has the Veil effect on him right now. While his armor is near 50 and his physical damage resistance is 73%, his magic resist is 6%. So Zeus is gonna do like 1200 burst damage to him within the next 8 seconds, maybe more like 1500, and he'll just kind of start melting. And there's just, what can you do? Your BKB's down, and this is sort of how it works. Sven needs to accelerate and then win the game in the early, late mid-game portion. And once you get to like this 15-minute mark, well, we'll see what happens. I don't want to spoil the fun.
The fun is he dies. That's the fun. Now we get to go and they can put out that misery or Vega. They back up a little bit. There's the roar over on the Earth Spirit. Seema lets the ult go. Ramsey comes out trying to find the Crystal Maiden, but no one sits on the back line. Basically gets himself a double kill. There's more gems on the deck, and the PL did die. Didn't actually get back out to safety and get the cheese off. So they do at least keep their top racks intact for Team Empire. They're able to recover one of the gems. I think there was actually like 3 gems on the field at one point. Yeah, 1 gem's back at the base of Vega. Then if you also notice this, but this is one of these small little cosmetic things that makes me really, really sad, but the pup just waits for the owner to respawn.
You mean the little pet thing?
Yeah, he just sits there. He just sits there. Right now he's sitting in the middle of a chest. I can't zoom in on him. He waits for the crystal maiden to come back to life again.
I think that's adorable. Everyone would want a pet like that.
Just wait for me. Just wait for me. I will return. There you go. And now you can greet your owner. Sorry, I love that thing.
Yeah. There's an old joke. I don't really remember how it goes, but it's something like if you really want to find out who your best friend is, lock him and your dog in the trunk, and then see who's happy to see you a day later.
That is.
Because I wish I could have a dog. They're just so much work, and they require. I mean, it's kind of like a trainer kid, and I don't know. I don't know why I'm talking about dogs now. This is what happens to you, Toby. You just take us off topic, man.
I do. But just to put the topic to rest, Border Collie is the greatest dog ever. There is.
Oh,
Yeah, I had a Border Collie for 18 years.
really?
18 years. Yeah.
Oh, well, I actually always no, I'm not responding, Toby. We're talking about Dota. We can go down this road later once the stream stops. It's 21:18, 50 minutes in. Vega's up like 12k gold, 12k experience. Pretty much just have to not throw really hard. And yeah, they're gonna win. So a refresher, by the way, on Beastmaster. So he's just gonna wait for the BKB from the Sven and then just roar him twice, and that's just what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
You gotta just sell this S&Y and buy a rapier. That's the only move right now.
It's almost like a free ticket to initiate as well. When you have both like you can have double necro books, double raw. You just go from one target to the next target. And what do you even do with this? Like you're 15 minutes into the game, Empire, like they defended their top rank. They have killed off the PL a couple of times, so you're gonna have some confidence arriving from that. But Ramses is still capped out as far as his damage goes. He's sitting at 5.9k gold, sitting in his inventory. I'm wondering what you even want to do here. Like, is it worth it if you just assume that Vega's gonna fight you inside your base? Can you build up something like a refresher orb so you can have double BKBs and double god strength? Is that even the play here? Or do you just go for more raw physical damage? Because he's critting about 951 at the moment.
Are you talking about Ramses right here?
Yeah, I'm talking about Ramses. Like, is it worthwhile going refresher for the extra BKB time?
No, he needs, he can maybe get a second one. He actually needs to buy an MKB and potentially a rapier too. So I honestly don't know what you do here. He's in one of those situations where he needs to just be able to kill everything. And that's just really hard to do, as we've noted, just because of all the mobility. You actually have a Lincoln's up on no one, just to prevent the Sven stun or the Doom from actually getting off the initiation on him. And solo, he could finish a Shivas right now, but it looks like he's just going to save up for a Hex. Like, there's just so much gold on Team Empire.
King Arstead.
He's going to find the Oracle. Yeah, it's goodbye.
Okay. There was no hesitation from Mag then.
Yep. And it looks like overkill, but that's that's how you play.
There goes your rock. Crackers up, and now in comes FN. They got so much damage. That Enchantress just died so quickly.
Yep, it looks like overkill, but that's when you're in a situation like this and you make a move, you do it together as 5 and sure that it will work. And they get 2 quick kills. They commit the refresher in both roars, but I mean at this point it's either 2 racks or 2 buybacks, and I think Vega will take either here.
Well, they don't have the buyback from both of them. Oracle doesn't actually have his, only Enchantress. The buyback will come, and then TP the front line. Ramp will be the man that's charged with cleaning up the wave. Money continues to grow. I don't even know what you do when you're Ramps at this point with far as item builds go. Like we talked about him getting a Monkey King bar and he needs a rapier, but what do you want to do? You want to drop your Blink Dagger against a lineup which is already kiting you very heavily. You picked up your 2nd level BTs. That's the only other item he has spent money on in the last like 5 minutes.
Yep, and he's still taking all this farm. Like, he's actually increased his net worth lead over the enemies, but again, it's sitting in his bank account, so it's not.
Here comes
you can't invest that
Thunder God's Rat's gonna
Four-man
go. It's a
rock.
four-man kick. They need to bowl this one in. In comes Half-Life. The BKB's will trigger. Mag gets his roar off, but he's locked in the
FN
FN
hard on
gets
the high
two,
ground.
with three of them on top of the hill. Seaman's gonna let the ulti go, but he actually gets silenced up as well. Ramsey's running around. He can't find a target because they're all on the hillside. They want to attack up to him, but they actually can't reach him. FN is sitting in the most safest place he could be, away from
Oh,
the fence.
no!
They jumped and blinked to the other hillside as Ramsey's blinked himself up on the hill. Vega, this is the ultimate kite. The land follows up. There goes your Earth Spirit. The enchanters will drop as well. Vega will blink himself out again as Vega will now go in and finish up Roshan. And man, that looked clowny as hell at Empire. And they just got worked.
It's insane, like PL just sat on the high ground doomed for 15 seconds, but there's just no damage, and then the Sven just doesn't get there in time. I mean, I don't know, it's just you can't win team fights anymore if you're Empire. There's just nothing you can do.
It's a sorry situation, but it's the truth. And now we got FN, who dropped his boots in the middle of that fight to pick up the Aegis or the Immortal. He's fine with this. He can use the flutter effect to actually move around the map. It was not that terrible being at 319 movement speed. But they're coming in for mid. Buyback is available on the Sven, and he's gonna have to use it. If they're gonna keep their ranks alive, in fact, there it comes. BKB is off cooldown, as well as God Strength, so he jumps forward. Tries to bail some abilities. FN gonna get Funnel Blade, Stormbolt, and with the cleave, FN! There goes your Aegis Immortal. Ramsey though, he wants more. No one will blink himself away. They're expecting more support. Here it comes in the form of Mag. False Promise will be protecting Ramsey for the moment. It's a low cooldown, so Oracle's fine, just spamming that out a little bit more. And now, Yola Warrior for some reason has now died.
Radiant's middle tower is under
He
attack.
TP'd into the middle of Vega practically. Well, the rest of his team was TPing out, so now there's no Enchantress on the field. And everyone from Vega is just ready to finish this game. Here comes the kick. Afterlife out the back lines. He's got Doom of Armor, has to BKB up, and they just hit into no one. No one will be going down here, and Afterlife hasn't chosen the Doom target. Mag will jump forward, and Seema, well, she lets it go, and well, that's pretty much it. Ramsey has BKB off cooldown now, so he can fight now, but there's no God Strength. So he jumps forward, he's chasing after Mag, they doom over on FN, they really want that PL down, but Ramsey, damage from no one, he's just too good. Like, you can see this coming from a mile away, but Empire just persevered and persevered, where they will lose game number 1 of this best of 3 quarterfinal in the ESL One Frankfurt qualifier.
Just well played, I think, by Vega. They made a couple mistakes, but recognized it, started to play a lot more disciplined, and I think they just sort of showed that, I think what most